evening, everybody. It's my pleasure to welcome you. As we begin, I'd like to introduce our high school counselors, Mr. Phil Treglia, Ms. Jessica Perillo. Welcome and thank you for coming. Tonight, our counselors will present an overview of our high school. We believe we'll support the research that a small school is a great place for a student to learn, based upon relationships for other students and relationships with adults in the building. You'll get a chance to see the opportunities we offer as a small school where kids are allowed to get involved and able to get involved, encouraged to get involved, and really become who they can be and reach their potential. Relationships are obviously very important. Opportunities are important. But what's most critical is instruction. We offer a great instructional program here. You know from our strategic plan, teachers are always looking to improve. We've partnership with IDE, a project-based learning program. Our teachers over the summer, 14 teachers got extensive training. We continue brain-based learning, and we also are continuing with the writing revolution to improve writing. Visual learning is a critical aspect of our students in the 21st century. It's no longer just the text. Obviously, understanding pictures and visual literacy is a critical component, so we work on that. Blended learning is also students today need technology. You expect technology in the classroom. Our teachers are very proficient at that. Finally, our programs for a small school. We have a wonderful program you'll learn more about. We offer 12 advanced placement courses. We always look for new courses that are really students are interested in, both at their teenage years, but also that will help them in their college years and in the world of work. We've offered an entrepreneur course. We have basically, today with the juniors and seniors, I've introduced a Bloomberg business course. So we're always looking to improve. We have architecture, engineering, and physics. These are things we're looking to do and continue to improve to make ourselves a competitive high school. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Mr. Phil Treglia, who will take you through the program. Thank you very much, everybody.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our 8th and 9th grade parent night. The way it works for the counselors in the building is that we split the grades in half. The first part of the alphabet Jessica has, which happens to be A through J in the 9th grade. I have the second half of the alphabet, which is H through Z. If your child's in 8th grade, they will find out who their counselor is when they come to freshman orientation. This allows us to follow the students for 4 years, get to know them, get to know you guys, and build a relationship of trust and over time, building toward the culmination of the college process and having your son or daughter going off after graduating from Tuckahoe High School successfully to the college of their choice. Right now on the screen, we're looking at our guidance webpage. This can be accessed on Tuckahoe High School's website. All of the information that you really need to know about is on our guidance webpage. It's a one-stop shop. Everything we're going to talk about tonight, you really can access on the webpage. We really want all 8th and 9th grade students to be comfortable with our webpage and to know where it is. On the left-hand side, you can see there's a whole, it's hard to see here, but on the left-hand side, there's a whole bunch of tabs that really explains a high school process, how to transition to a high school, the college process, really from A to Z. A couple things up there that you might want to look at include our student profile, our curriculum, the Naviance program, the college process, SAT, ACT registration, how to get involved in activities and clubs at Tuckahoe, to name a few. So if the students can access that in 8th and 9th grade, they're ahead of the game, okay? We encourage all the students to look at this, to communicate with you guys at home. And as you know, they're on the computer all the time. So this might be a way to start a conversation with them, ask them to show it to you at the dinner table. We've also linked our Twitter feed. This year, the high school staff has started a Twitter, which maybe that's cool for 8th and 9th graders, I don't know, hopefully. It's at Tuckahoe HS Guidance. And that's a live feed on our Tuckahoe Guidance website. Our goal as a counseling staff is to answer all questions for the students as they transition into the high school setting. One of the many advantages of being a small school is that we really get to know the students interpersonally, individualized, and we have access to them really at any time of the day. Our offices are open at all times for phone calls, emails, questions from you guys, and really more importantly, the students too. They come into our office at all times. They feel comfortable talking about their schedule, their classes, maybe some social and emotional stuff, how to get involved in activities and clubs or sports in the high school. So we really encourage that. As a counseling staff, again, we will know your sons and daughters for all 4 years. So through 9th through 12, we really get to know them, what their dreams are, what their plans are for after high school, and we're here to help them get there. All right, it's not going to be an easy road. It will be some ups and downs, but as we develop that relationship, I'm very confident that you will feel comfortable with Jessica and I working with you, working with the students to reach that goal. Our next slide, which I hit a little early, is our program highlights for the year. In 9th grade, as you can see, all the students will start with an orientation. It's the first time really the whole 9th grade class will be together and introduced to the high school. They'll meet the counselors, they'll meet the administration, they'll be with their classmates, and learn about the lockers and the teachers and where everything is in the building. For 9th grade students and families, we have individualized parent meetings. The parents and the students will be in our offices, and we'll be talking about our 9th grade transition program. We've really completed that program already with all 9th grade families, and we talk about the transcript, what it looks like, why is it so important, why do 9th grade grades count? The 9th grade grades are really 1/3 of the transcript as your son or daughter applies to college in the fall of senior year. So we really hone in on the 9th grade grades count. It's the foundation for a successful academic transition toward the high school. In the 10th grade, we work with career exploration. It's really a time for the students to learn about what are they interested in, what do they value, what are their abilities, what are they good at, what are they not so good at. And we use a tool called interest inventories for them to take a bunch of questions about all different types of skills and the world of work, and really where their skills can lead them to in the world of work path. This is called the Pathful Explore program. We will be going into the classroom and we'll be sharing this program with the 10th grade students. How to sign up, how to access it, and it can be done either in the building or from home. The program is a great one for kids because it shows videos of what it's like to do certain jobs in the world of work. All right, so instead of them listening to us verbally, they can watch the videos and see if it's cool, and if they don't like it, they could turn the video off in 30 seconds and go to the next one. And it's really been a way to kind of hook them into thinking about a career as a 10th grader and what can happen beyond the high school setting. As well in 10th grade, we have the optional practice SAT here at Tuckahoe in the fall. We encourage as many 10th graders as possible to take the practice SAT as a first step in a College Board entrance exam and get that experience on how to take a long test, a standardized test, to give them that head start as they enter 11th grade. Oh, I keep touching stuff. Well, you're the tech-savvy one, so thank you. In 11th grade, we meet all parents and students for an individualized junior college meeting. In that meeting, we talk about the college process. We're going to talk about the Naviance program, which is the program we use for students and families to go through the college process, one that can be used in the building and also at home. During our junior meeting, we want to start by getting a basket of colleges that you can think about researching in the spring, possibly visiting in the spring and summer, and a start to some target schools, some reach schools, and some safety schools. Generally, This is the first step, so you might want to have maybe 15 schools on there, maybe 20 schools. We can show you how to narrow it down as we move forward, but it's a good starting point. In junior year as well, you're going to take the PSAT in the fall of junior year. This test, you will be eligible for national merit consideration. So it does count in a way. Colleges will never see the PSAT scores, but it's a good starting point to see, again, what you're strong at and also what you need to work on. Generally, then after that, in the winter leading up to an SAT or ACT in the spring, a lot of our students might engage in a prep class, might engage in some individual studying or individualized tutoring, depending on everyone's situation. As the spring goes on in junior year, we will be working with the students to start their college essay. They'll be working with our English teachers. We will be talking with them about how to write something that's going to really catch the eye of the college reps in your senior year. We really want them to have their essay done by the time they enter the building senior year, and our English teachers will be working with them step by step. We also have the College Cafe, and that's a time where the juniors can start their resume, complete their resume with the counselors, and that helps as they start the college application and work on the common application in 12th grade. As we get to 12th grade, in the fall, we have another individualized meeting with parents and students. This is a time where we definitely get a little more specific on the college process. What schools have you visited over the summer? Have you taken an SAT or ACT? Are you thinking about going test optional? And how to apply to a college on the Naviance and Common App platform. We're here to walk them through the process. We have the College Cafe, which meets once a week. So some students come in once a week and we walk them through what their essay looks like. We walk them through how to link Common App and Naviance. Whatever they need to be successful, we're here to help them. During that meeting, hopefully we can narrow the college list down to maybe 6 to 10, always wanting to have a few reach schools, dream schools, some target schools, and maybe 1 or 2 safety schools, just in case. The scholarships program we have at Tuckahoe, we have a scholarship bulletin, which is on our website. It's updated periodically. Any scholarships that we receive, we put on the bulletin. Generally, the local scholarships start happening for 12th graders around December, January. February is when students start applying for those local scholarships, and it picks up in the spring. The first thing really a student should do is worry about applying to college first, and then after that's done, definitely dig into the scholarships, because there are a lot if you put the time and effort into researching and applying. We also have a senior internship program, which our internship coordinator coordinates with local businesses to match up our seniors as they're working toward graduation in the spring of senior year to leave Tuckahoe, but then work in the local community at jobs or workplaces that they have interest in or that they may major in college. This is a great first step for them to see what it's like to go to work every day, what it's like to interact with people outside the school building, and also be professional.
Yes. So what he means by that is by the time students apply their senior year, they're applying in the beginning of senior year. So the GPA that the college sees is only composed of 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. So those 3 grades really each contribute a third to your GPA on your transcript, showing the importance of each of those 3 years. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just had a question if Tuckahoe still is doing the free jump start, because Pat Bowen went through that.
Yes, so currently it's running right now for our juniors, and it was money from a grant by the Carapella family. I do not know how long. I think we have a little time left, right, Dr. Linehan?
Yeah, it's fund is diminishing. We're looking for other resources, for future years. We have another fund, we think we'll be okay for next year, but we're looking for more donations and to continue this program as students continue to go through.
Yeah.
So, it's been going, I guess this is the 5th year for our juniors. It's been a great success.
Yeah.
We're spending the money where we want to on our students. We have another scholarship, a grant coming in next year. That should hopefully get us through next year, and then the following year we're looking for more donations. So it's a great program. We did look into the school budget years ago, supporting outside teacher, student ACT, SAT prep. However, we can't do it through the school budget, so we're looking for donations. So we're optimistic. It's been a great program. We hope for it to continue.
Yeah.
Sorry?
What kind of funds do you think each year generate?
Well, it depends on how many students. It could be 20,000, 30,000. The course it's 10 classes. What is it?
Yeah.
Math and reading.
There's 5 of each. Yep.
5 of each. So it's about $800 a student.
So,
Do the math.
Class size.
yes. And how many students opt in? But yeah.
It's a great start. It's a great, advantage for students, and we try to get them involved starting in September of senior year to get ready for it. And at the board meeting last week, we talked about doing things a little earlier. So we're optimistic. Hopefully, we'll get some continued grant money to keep this program going. It's for juniors, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
We also talked about, at the last workshop, that, so we can go back and check it out, but we also talked about Tuckahoe, and I just had to say it because it's so wonderful. We're the only district, right, in Westchester County that offers 10 classes, tutoring classes for the SAT and SAT, correct?
Yeah, just to give you a little background, that's correct. As far as I know, we're the only school, East Chester, the PTA pays for 2 sessions. We offer 10 free sessions. We got a grant this grant was from the Carapella Estate, and it was for a sizable amount. And basically they wanted to use it for scholarships, and I'll be candid with you. I called the estate lawyer and I said, giving kids 3 or 4 scholarships in June is nice, but if we can get 30, 40, or 50 kids into an SAT, ACT prep program, they'll get more scholarships from other colleges and resources. So that's been going on. I think it's 5 years now. We've had great cooperation. So the Kurtz Foundation is another grant we've gotten. So hopefully we'll have enough for next year, and we're looking for more. I have publicly said at the meeting, anybody who wants to donate. So our alumni, going back, recent alumni and also alumni going back to the 1950s has been very, very generous. I talked about relationships here, but people, I get letters and the alumni come back, we have the 50th anniversary, and they talk about how wonderful Tuckahoe has been. And a lot of it is, it's the staff, it's the students, and it's a big advantage if you're small. I mean, a lot of, there's an inference that basically if they're small, you're not going to be able to run the competitive programs. Our community does support our programs. We have a lot of great programs here for a small school, but really the relationships between the students and the teachers and the students amongst themselves and the opportunities. My children at home went to a mid-sized high school, running for office. There's 14 kids running for vice president. It can be a little bit intimidating. Here, we may have 2 or 3, a little more opportunity, a less competitive field because we have fewer numbers. So we'll go back to Jess. Thank you for the question. We're here.
Thanks. Okay, I'm going to take some time to go over the different diplomas that we offer at Tuckahoe. So we offer 2 different types of diploma, the Regents Diploma and the Advanced Regents Diploma. With both, students need at least 22 credits to graduate. So with a regular Regents Diploma, students need 4 English courses, 4 social studies courses, 3 in math and 3 in science. Even though it's 3 in math and 3 in science, we encourage students every year to continue and take an additional math or science even when they do not need to. Students need 1 art or music credit, 1 language other than English credit, a half a credit for health, 2 credits for PE, and at least 3.5 elective credits. It is our job to make sure your student is on track to graduate and that they are getting the courses that they need and meeting all of these requirements. Every year, we work together to come up with an appropriate schedule for that specific student, and that means something for each individual student. It's different for everybody. The idea is for students to push themselves while not dropping their GPA. So if they're interested and really strong in social studies, then maybe we push them to take an honors or AP level course in that area. But maybe they're struggling a little more in science, so they'll stay on the regular Regents track there. So there's different options every year. We use a variety of things to decide what's appropriate. So our teachers take some time to talk to us and recommend what course is appropriate. We have an honors policy, which I'll talk about in a little bit, for social studies and English class. And then we work with the students and parents. We send out Google documents where parents with their student can fill out what courses they'd like to take the following year. If a student is going on and would like their Advanced Regents diploma, they need to take at least 3 years of a language other than English. So typically our students take Spanish or Italian 1 in 7th and 8th grade, so that counts as 1 high school credit. And they would at least need to continue that language in 9th and 10th grade as well. In addition to the actual credit requirements, they have Regents exam requirements. So I will talk about that here. For a regular Regents diploma, students need to take and pass 5 core Regents exams. That's a science, a math, a global studies, US history, and English exam. Some of our 8th grade students will take earth science or algebra in 8th grade. Others will take that in 9th grade. In 10th grade, all of our students take global, and in 11th grade, all of our students take the US history and English class. Regents. The Regents is offered 3 times a year in June, August, and January. So the students will all take it when the course culminates in June together and when the information is fresh in everyone's head. If the student is going for the Advanced Regents diploma, they need 2 science Regents, not just 1, and they need 3 math Regents. So they would need the algebra Regents, the geometry Regents, and then they would need to continue to the Algebra 2 Regents. So it's a little bit of a tougher track. Again, this is just a different type of diploma. It says it when the students graduate. We encourage everybody to do the best they possibly can, but it's also just a credential. So if your student is struggling in math and this isn't for them, that's okay. Then they'll push themselves in another area. Students will already know what college they're going to and were accepted at before we even know what diploma they're going to get. So we will work with you every year to figure out what is best. All of our courses in the high school as well. So to earn a credit, a student needs to earn a 65 or above in their class. In the high school, we offer 3 different types of courses. There are regular Regents level courses. So an example of this would be biology in 9th grade. They follow the state curriculum, and it ends in a Regents exam in June. It's necessary for their diploma. In addition, we offer different honors courses. So our honors courses are in English and in social studies. So depending on how a student does in their previous English and social studies course, they'll either be recommended for the honors or not. This is the honors policy that I was talking about before. So if a student is in 8th grade, in order to enroll in, let me just see. So if a student is in 8th grade, they need to have at least a 90 average in their respective middle school class to be recommended for the honors course in 9th grade. If a student is in 9th grade and already in an honors course, they need to maintain an 85 average or above. And if they're in a regular Regents level class, they need to have a 90 or above. So we can help you decipher this, but it's also located on our website. There's also, for our 9th graders, if they do not get in, but they're within a 5-point, if they're between an 80 and, between an 85 and a 90, they can waive in by writing a paper. So we'll work with you and decide what's best and if an honors course is appropriate or not. There's also AP courses in the high school. It stands for Advanced Placement. These are the college level courses. They culminate in an AP exam in May. Students, the exam is scored 1 through 5. If students typically earn a 3, 4, or 5, they can actually earn college credit by when they decide to go to college, they'll submit their AP exam scores, and typically the college will award them with actual college course credit, which is wonderful. We just had a student, an alumni, write to us and tell us she earned about 20 credits before she even entered college. So it saves money, it helps, and it's a wonderful opportunity. Most of our AP courses start in 11th grade, and we offer a whole variety of them in 12th grade as well. Our courses are weighted. Our GPA is weighted. So if a student takes an honors course, it is multiplied by 1.05. So let's say a student has a 90 in an honors level course, it actually goes into their GPA as a 95. If they take an AP course, it's weighted into our GPA, it's multiplied by 1.1, so that 90 would go into the GPA as a 99. So potentially a student can have over a 4.0 or over 100 on their GPA. So it encourages students to take higher level courses. It can definitely help boost your GPA. On the flip side, we only encourage students that can maintain a pretty decent GPA to take these higher level classes so it does not hurt their GPA.
Here's an example of a typical 9th grade student's schedule. All 9th grade students are required to take English, global history, biology, either algebra or geometry, and physical education. They can take some electives, such as in language, Italian or Spanish, which we encourage, art and music, and we have some exciting electives that I feel the students really enjoy taking because it's a little bit atypical, out of the box, and they get to learn in maybe a different way. So a lot of our 9th or 10th graders possibly take maybe entrepreneurship, media productions, STEAM. I know some of our 10th graders have been in AP computer science, and we're getting a lot of positive feedback about those courses. Students who are in our special education and have an IEP can take academic skills in grades 9 through 12. CTS is offered for students 9 through 12, and that really is a second teacher in the classroom to provide the student with an IEP some extra support. We do have a 15-to-1 class setting in all of our core subjects: English, science, and math. The academic skills is another area where students can learn from a teacher on how to support their skills, their study skills, their time management, their reading skills, how to take notes, even today, really, how to write their assignments down in their planner so that they get homework completion. And that's really a skill that we're trying to teach all 9th grade students. Really how to be on task, be organized, and work on their executive functioning. It went? All right. Up top, and it's hard to see, this is a sample transcript. And really, what we want to know today is we discussed this in our initial 9th grade meeting right away. We want to show the students and families, what is a transcript? What does it look like? And why is it so important? And again, in 9th grade, you're really setting the foundation for your academic future. And on the transcript, we talked to the 9th graders about a college only sees your final grade in each subject on the transcript. And really, by the time you apply to college, 3 years from there, when you're in 9th grade, it's really 1/3 of what the college is going to see academically: 9th, 10th, and 11th grade on your transcript. Here's a slide on the course offerings that we currently have in the 2022-2023 academic year. In our current 9th grade meetings, we hand this out to the students and families and ask them to bring it home. It's a way that the student can see all of the classes we offer for the 9th grade, but then have a window into the 10th grade and be excited about some of the offerings that we have for a 10th grade student. It could motivate them to get a little bit of a higher grade. Maybe they want to go from a Regents class to an honors class, or maybe they want to take a certain elective in 10th grade or AP computer science. And we do talk about this in our 9th grade meeting to motivate them, to push themselves, to achieve, and to not settle. And as you go toward the right on this academic plan, which we talk about in the meeting, you can see all the opportunities we have here in 11th grade. We offer some AP classes that students can take. And then we offer a lot of electives that are open to our 11th grade students. Intro to psychology or intro to architecture, to name a few. And then in 12th grade, you can see all of the AP classes we offer. There's a lot of science opportunities. We have students who are actually taking AP classes online because they've started early here at Tuckahoe, and they're pushing themselves and they're reaching for the best they can do, and they're even pushing themselves where they're taking AP classes online, and we do support that as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for our students here, and we're trying to show them that as they enter our building in 9th grade.
So we talk about college pretty early here. So in our 9th grade meetings, we bring it up, and it seems really far away, but everything that students do starting in 9th grade really contribute to this process. So we don't do it to scare anybody, but we do it to prepare everybody so that the students have the most options available to them when it comes to the application process. One of the two biggest pieces of the application process is that transcript and strength of transcript and GPA. The second biggest piece is still the SAT or ACT score. So those are the two standardized tests. Colleges accept either or with no preference. Our testing program here at Tuckahoe, we offer that optional PSAT, like Mr. Treglia said, to our 10th grade students, and we encourage them to take it. It's extra exposure to an exam that they're not used to taking, so we would definitely encourage it. In 11th grade, the whole 11th grade sits for the actual PSAT. And then typically in the spring is when students actually sit for the exam and take the real SAT or ACT. Those exams are usually taken 2 or 3 times, and then the best score is submitted to the colleges. Some colleges do what we call super scoring, where you could take the highest section of each one. We'll go over that as we get a little bit closer, but it is encouraged that students take it 2 or 3 times. In 12th grade, if a student really wants, they can take it one more time in the beginning of 12th grade. We've noticed that college deadlines are sooner and sooner, and much of our senior class, I think we're up to like 90% of our senior class has already applied to college at this point this year, and they're applying early. So it gets a little complicated if you take the SAT again in the beginning, but there is an opportunity to take it right away. And then also AP exams are offered in 11th and 12th grade at the culmination of the AP course that students are taking. So the end of the school year is always a little hectic. 11th grade is a big year for students academically because they're taking harder courses, maybe their first AP courses, and they're taking this SAT and ACT as well. Okay, so this is the roadmap to college. So there's a lot of different things that colleges are looking for, but we are trying to build not just a student's academic profile, but a student's extracurricular profile. So the important things are grades and GPA, of course. That's one of the biggest things, strength of classes, like I said, the SAT or ACT score. But then there's a few other things that are super important as well. The college essay has become more and more important. It's one of the only opportunities a college has to get to know a student's personality. So we've been working hard to really make sure that they're unique and different and interesting, but they're still portraying who that student is. Extracurricular activities, we just had our 9th grade meetings, we encourage all of our 9th grade students to start a student resume, and we can help them with it as well, but to start keeping track of everything they're doing outside of school. So maybe that could be sports, it could be clubs, it could be acting, it could be community service, and that can all be either inside of school with the clubs that we offer, or it can be outside with an outside organization. But it's important to start being committed to things, and colleges want to see that a student has started something in 12th grade and continued through 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, maybe shown a position of leadership when they get older, so captain of a sports team or treasurer, vice president of a club. These are all important things to start working towards. And again, I always say you don't need to run out of the meeting or the office and have your student join 10 clubs, but just start thinking about what's important and what they like and don't like to get involved. Just some tips we have. We heard one admissions officer just say, just be interesting, have your student be interesting. And that's easier said than done, obviously, but you want to take appropriate courses, have your student be involved, be passionate about things, and get involved. So that's pretty much what our current ninth graders can be doing at this point. Naviance. So Naviance is a really important and wonderful program that we use. Students have access to it starting in ninth grade if they'd like. Some of them have their username and passwords. If you want it, you can email us or Miss Nicoletos, who's our guidance secretary, and she can help give you it. But basically, it has different opportunities. We use it in the college process in 11th grade, and then when we actually apply to schools, we use it again in 12th grade. There are some other career interest things they can do. They can start a resume on Naviance. But it's a wonderful program that really helps us to start a list of colleges that we might be interested in. It keeps track. It tells us when deadlines are for schools, how much a school costs. You can look at videos and pictures of what a college looks like on it. So we encourage our families to get to know Naviance a little bit. One of the best tools that Naviance has is that it keeps track of Tuckahoe High School students and where they have and have not been accepted to. So this example is UMass Amherst, and all of those green dots represent students who've been accepted in the past 5 or 10 years in Tuckahoe, and the red X's on the bottom left are students who've been denied, and you see a few blue diamonds. That means waitlisted or deferred. But it's measuring two things. It's measuring the two most important pieces that I touched on before, which is a student's GPA and their SAT score. So the top right corner of that graph gives us the average accepted student from Tuckahoe that has been accepted into UMass Amherst in this case. That average accepted student has a 3.49 GPA and an SAT of an 1120. Why is this important for a ninth grader? If they have a dream school, let's say a student really, really, really wants to go to Boston University, they could look up Boston University, see that maybe they need a 94 to get into it, or approximately a 94. It gives them something to shoot for. They understand the importance of doing well academically. They can just start thinking about realistically what they would need to get into some competitive schools. So it's a wonderful, wonderful tool, and we encourage you all to explore it, and we're happy to help you if you have any questions accessing it. Again, it's on our website, but we can give you the username and password if you need it.
Here we're looking at the Pathful Explorer platform. Again, we're going to introduce this to the students in 10th grade. We're going to go in the classroom and give each student a user ID and password and encourage them and show them how to get on this platform and how to use it effectively. The Career Interest Inventory Program is really a program where they're going to take a whole host of questions on what they're good at, what they like, what they don't like, and then there's some opportunities for them to see some videos like we mentioned on this platform. Right here, there's cybersecurity engineer, electrical apprentice, corporate chef, and an urban farmer. So there's all different topics that you can research and get to know. And you might not like one, and you might find one that you never heard that you're interested in. And that's where we're trying to get the students to think outside the box a little bit, stretch themselves, look at some careers that they've never heard of, and maybe it interests them. And maybe they're going to dig in a little bit and find out what colleges or what majors they need to become this career. How much does it pay in each state? Do they need a graduate degree? And these are all questions that we talk about with them in our office. And this is the first step to get them interested into the world of work outside of Tuckahoe High School. Here's a list of our clubs and organizations. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but we have an art club, we have a coding club, we have the Habitat for Humanity, we have something new called the Quiz Bowl, we have a robotics club, a stock club, art, dance, vocal, orchestra for arts and music. There's a lot of things here for kids to get involved in. All right, and we're encouraging all ninth grade students to start and get involved in a club. They meet after school. There's really no reason why the students should go home after school at 2:30 and just go home and sit on the couch. They should be here interacting with their peers, meeting the teachers, developing a relationship, and joining a few clubs. And that's what makes high school fun, right? Being with your friends, learning something new, And you can take these clubs and you can add it to your activity sheet when you apply to college 3 to 4 years down the road. Again, here are some school activities. There's always something going on here at Tuckahoe. We have some awesome spirit weeks. We had a great homecoming weekend this year. There's car washes. We're always raising money for things in our community that need support. We have a lot of volunteering and community service opportunities. There's a tutoring program that we do. Some of our upperclassmen tutor underclassmen or students from Cottle or the middle school. Again, there's a senior internship program. We have the Ragamuffin Parade at Halloween. So there's a lot of school activities to build camaraderie and school spirit. And lastly, here's a list of our athletics at Tuckahoe High School. On the left side is our fall activities. Some of them include varsity boys soccer, varsity girls tennis, or varsity volleyball, for example. In the winter, we have varsity boys basketball, varsity girls basketball. We have an ice hockey merger with Eastchester. We also have a wrestling merger that really got off the ground this year, which is pretty cool. And in the spring, we have varsity softball, JV golf, for example, and our varsity girls lacrosse team has been building over the years from modified to JV till now varsity. So there's a lot of opportunity athletically if that's something that you're interested in as well. Well, now we're on the question and answer period of our presentation, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask.
Any questions? We're here to help.
Yeah, yes. Our golf program is offered for everyone. I think they had a larger golf team last year that some students went to some meets and other students went to other golf meets because they had so many students on the golf team between Siwanoy Country Club and Lake Isle.
It's Mr. Sweeney.
Mr. Sweeney is the
Mr.
coach.
Sweeney is the coach too, so.
How large is our eighth grade graduating class this year?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I can look it up, but,
I think it's in the 70s, 75. Just guessing.
yeah, I can look.
In the years that she had, there was a many ninth graders were going on private school. Are you retaining more kids now, or are they still, is there still an exodus?
Varies by the year, to be honest with you. Some of it's social, some of it's economic. Parents want to spend money on private school. I mean, that's their choice. Some of it's religious. Last year, we didn't have a strong year. The previous 2 years were pretty good. We were strong, so I think our junior class will be 85 students. So it does vary. My private schools, there are some wonderful ones out there, but I think our program stands up to any of them. I'll give you an example. When Regents scores became public, a lot of private schools, Catholic schools offered Regents programs. I'm not going to mention anything specifically, but once the state said public schools must publish their Regents scores, suddenly some of the Catholic schools stopped offering Regents. I'm not going to infer anything, but our program here stands up to anybody. Our college acceptances are wonderful. We've got kids applying to Ivy League. We have students, our alumni are involved in Wall Street. We have teachers, doctors, lawyers. So we're very proud of our program here.
And one thing we see is some of the students who go to private schools come back.
Yes.
A lot of students have come back to Tuckahoe for various reasons. And I think they feel welcome coming back, and they feel comfortable here, where they can excel. And that's also exciting to see as well.
To answer your question, there's 85 students in the 8th grade. Yeah.
I was off, sorry.
Yeah.
In order to ensure that your child is on the right track, starting in ninth grade, what impact does the eighth grade curriculum have on that, and the choices that, the courses that they can face in ninth grade?
Sure. So students can potentially be taking already high school level courses in 8th grade. So that would be the earth science, algebra, and language. So those would be the 3 courses that would actually be on the high school transcript. And then within those courses and how they are currently doing in English and social studies impact what they're taking in 9th grade. So that honors policy is something to take a look at in the high school. It's on under parent resources on the high school website. But if a student is maintaining over a 90 in those classes, then they can go into the honors level course in the high school. And for algebra, it's an 85 or above.
Yes, and I'll tell you why, because we've had it for about 7 years now. It's been very successful. Basically, students who don't reach the 90 in middle school, when I talk to parents, basically, you're better off ascending into honors sophomore year, going into a Regents class 9th grade, and ascending into honors class 10th grade, and working your way up as you continue. Colleges want to see progress.
Yeah.
Before we had the policy, we had parents, I'll be candid, putting pressure on, waving their students in. They want their kids in honors. And by junior year, you had kids in honors who were getting 75s, 80s. And I do recall, I have this visual memory of a girl who was in honors who didn't get into the college she wanted to, and another student who was not in honors who got accepted. And the girl was flabbergasted. I can't believe I was in honors, but you have to, it's about results. And if you're not going to work as hard, or you want to, you have other interests, the Regents courses are fine as long as you get good grades. If you want, making the honors program is what's important, and having some standards, and the colleges respect that.
And they have, if they don't make it in 9th grade, they can make it the following year and the year after. So every year they have that opportunity as well.
Yeah. I mean, I have a personal example. My own son, we were in Pleasantville, and he was in the 8th grade, and he's a hardworking student. Anyway, they offered to accelerate him in math. And I said no. Basically, he's working until 11 o'clock at night now. There's an SEL component here. And, he didn't follow the advance. You got to do Villanova. I mean, everybody thinks this is, 8th grade is a decision point. If you don't do it now, what's going to happen for you? As long as you work hard, and if you show ascension, maybe going to honors 10th grade, that is better than getting, a lower grade in 9th grade, and then, just going along.
Yeah.
Some of the math classes on this list are not Regency classes. So how does it work if they get into Regency class?
So with math, once you're in the high school, there's, if you're taking Regents level geometry, every year the math department usually gives us a list of their recommendations and what they think the student should take the following year. For every grade, so like after algebra, there's a geometry, Regents level, and then a non-Regents level geometry. The following year, there's Algebra 2, which is Regents level, and then a non-Regents level option.
I'm more concerned about 8th grade going to math. So how do we teach how to get into Regency classes?
It has to be an 85 or above for math. So if they're in algebra in 8th grade, that algebra grade has to be an 85 or above to get into the
If they're
math.
in Math 8 now, they would take algebra next year, too. Your 8th grade student is not taking algebra. They would take it. Algebra is required for graduation.
Yeah.
So you either take it in the 8th grade, or you take it in 9th grade.
Yes, so those are options, and some of those, depending on the year, are special education options. But if a student does not take algebra in 8th grade, in 9th grade, they're either taking the regular Regents level algebra. Some years we offer this Algebra 1A, which it splits up the course into 2 years if there's a student need for it. Yes. Sure.
If you were in math 8 right now, do you need a certain grade to enter algebra math?
No, you'll go into algebra. Yes,
Everybody
correct.
goes into algebra, either 8th grade or 9th grade.
Regardless of what you're taking now,
Correct.
Correct.
Hi. How do you develop the relationship with the students? Do they see you weekly? How, is it up to them to come see you? It's like my son will not come see you.
So we have initial 9th grade individual meetings, which we just had with most of our 9th grade families. At that meeting, we talk to every student and encourage them and talk to them about our open door policy and coming down and seeing us. We are around the building all the time as well. The main door is open, kids are in and out all the time. We will then, so we have 3 meetings throughout high school where we will definitely meet with you guys as a family. In addition, we typically call down the student at some point throughout the year regarding their grades or schedule or whatever it might be. But it is not a formal weekly meeting per se, but we will definitely, we know pretty much, I mean, the high school's tiny. So we get a chance to know most of the
And I would
students.
say, as we walk around the building, they get to see us, they get to know us, they get more comfortable. And, what's great about Tuckahoe is you can see them in the hallway or the cafeteria, and you could tap on their shoulder and say, hey, I saw you didn't do your English homework on the power school, what's going on? Or, hey, you got a 95 in math, great job. And I think that's they're so accessible here that I think we see them and they see us a lot. And then they feel comfortable. Kids are in and out of our office all the time.
Yeah, I think also especially in 11th grade, I'd say starting in 11th grade, they really begin to come in on their own if they haven't already. They're more involved in the college process and asking questions and what's next, or can we help with something in that process? Yeah.
In terms of the ACT and the SAT, over the past couple of years, they've been talking about how it's optional. Are you seeing that it's becoming important again, or like what do you see for the time that our kids are going to be really in this process?
Because of COVID, most colleges went test optional, what we call test optional, where you can either decide to submit your scores or not. I would say the majority of those schools have kept that policy. That being said, it's a pretty big data point. So if a student does pretty well on their SAT or ACT, or it's comparable to their GPA, we would encourage them to submit it. We'll look at those charts that I showed you in Naviance together. If we keep looking and that SAT score is significantly lower than the school, but their GPA is on track, then maybe we will recommend for the student to hold that score. So currently it is an option for pretty much every college, but we still will encourage our students to take it and see how they do. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Also, feel free to email us or call us if you
Email,
think of
we're here.
anything else. We're happy to answer.
Thank you very much.
Thank
everybody.
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.